We are the operator of the 495 and 95 express lanes. And we are excited to launch a campaign tonight in partnership with VDOT, AAA, Virginia State Police, and Fairfax County Police Department to tackle a key safety issue in this region, and that's distracted driving. We're also very excited to have quarterback Kirk Cousins to serve as the face of the campaign. Actually, immediately following this event, Kirk will be going upstairs to record video ads for the campaign that offer reminders about the dangers of distracted driving that we will be promoting on social media and online over the next 2 months. Before we get started, we wanted to recognize the elected officials here with us tonight. If everyone can just hold their applause till we get to the end. Senator Dave Marsden. Delegate Ken Plum, actually just left, but he was here earlier. Delegate Mark Keem. Delegate Marcus Simon. Oh, great. Supervisor Pat Harity. Supervisor John Cook. And Helen Cuervo, the Nova District Administrator for VDOT. Thank you. Now I'd like to, you can clap now, perfectly. Now I'd like to introduce Transurban's Group General Manager for North America, Jennifer Allman, to kick things off.
That was my lawyer, funny. Good evening. It's great to have everyone here this evening, particularly our partners. I think you'll find in managing a road network in a congested region like the greater Washington area, it takes a village. And our law enforcement partners and our partners at VDOT, it takes it's minute to minute and hour to hour to keep our customers safe. So it means a lot to us to have our partners here today. As the operator of the 495 and 95 express lanes, we serve millions of drivers in the Washington, D.C. region. And of course, safety is at the forefront of everything that we do. Our customers deserve safe travel options. Our road crews depend on safe work zones. And as residents of this region, every person on the Transurban team relies on safe roadways to get home each day. Transurban is a longtime safety leader and a strong advocate for safe driving in work zones. Many of you will remember our Orange Cones, No Phones campaign, also a strong partnership with VDOT, that we launched in 2009 during the construction of the 495 express lanes, which was quite messy and complex. It's one of the largest and most complex construction jobs at the time. We were pleased to partner with the Department of Transportation to add safe driving signage along our corridors as part of this program. We work with state and local police officers to tell firsthand stories of the devastating effects of distracted driving. We sat down with area businesses to revamp corporate policies covering cell phone use during the workday. And we joined our partners at AAA Mid-Atlantic to reach hundreds of thousands of young drivers and millions more through advertising campaigns. And we saw tremendous results as part of this partnership in this aggressive program during the construction period. But as long-term transportation partners in this region, we cannot ignore the concerning trends that we have observed on our roads here in Northern Virginia. It is clear that distracted driving in our region remains a major risk to all of our safety. It is a leading cause of accidents in our area, and cell phone use is to blame for far too many of these tragic incidents. Reading an email, sending a text, searching for a phone number, these are behaviors that far too many of us still engage in today, explaining it as a way as we see other people beside us doing it. We might tell ourselves that it's only for a moment or that it's not dangerous, but the facts certainly tell us otherwise. One of the leading causes of fatalities behind the wheel, a few moments of inattention. It is extraordinarily dangerous, and we must remind ourselves of that. That's why we're here tonight. And with our partners, transportation leaders, and of course, quarterback Kirk Cousins, to launch the Phones Down, Touchdown, Safe Driving campaign. Through this campaign, Transurban aims to reignite the conversation in our region about the risk and increase awareness of the dangers of distracted driving on our roadways. We are especially grateful to have quarterback Kirk Cousins serve as the voice of our campaign. He is a valuable ally to help amplify our campaign and to make a strong case to younger drivers and parents to put down the phone while driving. Through the Phones Down, Touchdown campaign, we will reach millions of drivers throughout the region and ask them to pledge to keep their attention off their cell phone while behind the wheel. As drivers take the pledge, we encourage them to share this commitment with their family and friends. Tonight, Transurban is proud to sponsor this campaign and stand by our government, law enforcement, and motorist advocate partners united to make our region's roads safer. Each partner plays a key role in the fight against distracted driving caused by cell phones and offers important advice. We thank each of you for your support and participation in this effort. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing one of our other key celebrities of this evening's festivities, and that is Deputy Secretary of Transportation Grinley Johnson. And I have a big formal bio for Grinley, but I'll skip it and just tell you, as someone who's worked in transportation in this region for a long time, Grinley, in her role as Deputy Secretary and prior roles at VDOT, has been a real leader in raising the bar high for all partners in delivering transportation services. She has been a force behind the program that promotes opportunities for small women and minority-owned businesses and disadvantaged business enterprises in this industry, and she has reshaped this industry with her effort. And along with Secretary of Transportation Aubrey Lane and Governor McAuliffe, she is part of the effort that is really transforming how we prioritize and deliver transportation improvement. So it's a real honor to have an opportunity from behalf of the Transurban team to partner with Deputy Secretary Johnson and her team and the team at VDOT on this effort and all the day-to-day operations that we do to advance transportation in this region, and certainly my privilege to introduce Grinley as a key part of this partnership.
Thank you, Jen. It's a pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of the Honorable Terrence McAuliffe and the Honorable Aubrey Lane. Now, I will tell you, when I got the invitation about distracted driving, that is very important to me. But then when I read further, I noticed that there was going to be a quarterback here. Hey, welcome. So I said, well, maybe I should combine this, have a little fun. But distracted driving is very important. It's something that we should all think about and try to change our habits. And I'm guilty of it. And I will pledge that I will no longer use my phone, and I'm riding with Sandra Norman over there. I will put my phone down. If it rings, I'm going to keep it in my purse. But this is important to us. And this is something that we should share with our friends and family. There's nothing more important to us than the safety of motorists who travel the roads. Safety is the highest priority for the governor and the secretary. We want everyone to come home to their families. The success of our vast transportation network depends on safety. We focus on safety through our designs, our delivery, our operation, and our maintenance. Safety is critical as we improve our infrastructure in Northern Virginia with expanded express lanes on I-95 and 395, 66 express lanes, the I-95 corridor, the Atlantic Gateway Project. While I spend much of my time in Richmond and my home of Hampton Roads, I travel here quite frequently. And I will become more involved in the transportation in Northern Virginia in the future. My key role, which is near and dear to my heart, is advocating for the motorist, the commuter. Safety will always be my key message. A leading cause of accidents in this region is distracted driving, caused by cell phone usage. And remember, well, I don't want to show my age, but I remember when we didn't have cell phones, we had to stop, get a quarter, Go to a payphone. Okay, a dime, okay. I was trying to help myself out a little bit. But the Phones Down, Touchdown campaign could not come at a more important and critical time. Heading into the holidays, we feel the pull of our many commitments, including work, play, fun, errands, and travel. Our cell phones are always buzzing. The demands of life seem to require us to be constantly connected. Each time you get on the road, you have a responsibility that you cannot ignore. You cannot allow yourself to be distracted. Those few seconds of inattention can ruin lives, and it may end your own. Tonight, we begin a new call to action: stop distracted driving. Reaching millions of motorists, the Phone Down, Touchdown campaign will drive home important safety messages that will save lives. If we tackle distracted driving caused by cell phones in this region, we will take a big step toward 0 deaths in Virginia. So tonight, I ask the region's drivers to take the Phone Down, Touchdown pledge. And I ask you to share this with your family, your friends, and especially the young people, the millennials. I'm a boomer, but I'm a millennial at heart. Share this. Let them know the importance of this. With quarterback Kirk Cousins serving as the face of the Phones Down, Touchdown campaign, I am confident that our message will be far-reaching and will resonate with the area's youngest drivers in a group that will prove to be the leaders in stopping distracted driving. I thank Transurban for their leadership on this. I also commend the Virginia State Police, Fairfax County Police, and AAA Mid-Atlantic for their continued support of regional roadway safety. And turning now to one of our key partners and longtime safety advocates, I would like to introduce to you Tom Calgani. Please, Tim, I hope I didn't screw your name up.
That's very close.
But you know, as they say in church, charge it to my head, not to my heart.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight on behalf of AAA. We're honored to take part in the launch of the Phone Down, Touchdown campaign. If it's all right with you, I'm going to take just a couple of minutes. I know the speaker you're really interested in hearing from tonight, but if you'll indulge me just a couple of minutes to give you some statistics. I think you may have, some of which you may have heard, some of which you may not, but I think it'll help to put the issue of distracted driving into a little bit more perspective for all of us. Each year, more than 8 out of 10 drivers in the annual AAA Foundation Traffic Safety Culture Index cite distraction as a serious problem, and this behavior makes them feel less safe on the road. I suspect a lot of us would fall into that same category. But in fact, nearly half of all people who feel less safe on the road than they did 5 years ago say that distracted driving is the reason. Now, distracted driving may seem to some people rather harmless, but as I think all of us in this room know, it can be a very deadly behavior. Federal estimates suggest that distraction contributes to about 16% of all fatal crashes, leading to about 5,000 deaths each year. AAA's latest research has discovered that distraction lasts much longer, I think, than many of us think it does, up to an average of 27 seconds. Now, let me say that again. 27 seconds. So that means that after a driver puts down his or her phone or stops fiddling with the radio or a navigation system, drivers aren't fully engaged in their driving for almost 30 more seconds. Think about that. And think about how far you can travel in your vehicle in 30 seconds. A big problem. Now, not surprisingly, teens are among the drivers most likely to be impaired by distraction. In fact, a recent AAA Foundation in-car study showed that teen drivers were distracted almost a quarter of the time they were behind the wheel. A quarter of their time. Now, AAA's goal with the Phone Down Touchdown campaign is to encourage members, drivers, to commit to traveling safely and encourage them to share the commitment with their friends and family. As transportation safety advocates in the fight against distracted driving, we ask Virginia motorists, in fact all motorists, to remember the importance of keeping their full focus and attention on the road. I'm now happy to introduce Virginia State Police Division 7 Fairfax Commander Captain Jim DeFord. Captain DeFord is tasked with leading 164 troopers assigned to the Fairfax Division, which is one of the 7 state police field divisions across the Commonwealth. This field division encompasses the counties of Arlington, Fairfax, Loudoun, and Prince William, as well as the cities of Alexandria, Fairfax, Falls Church, Manassas, and Manassas Park, and the Dulles Greenway and the Northern Virginia Express lanes. Won't you please welcome Captain DeFord.
I'm only going to take a few minutes of your time. First of all, I want to thank Transurban for giving us the opportunity for Virginia State Police to be a part of this campaign. You don't have to wear a uniform to see the dangerous and too often deadly consequences of distracted driving on the highway, but we see it every day. Everyone's seen the vehicles weaving back and forth in the travel lane or waited at the green light, this is one of my favorites, for a driver to put down the phone and drive, or driven past the flashing lights of emergency vehicles stopped on the side of the road at a crash scene. And distracted driving has kind of become a term of late, but I've been up here for 12 years, and at least 16 troopers in those 12 years have been struck on the sides of the interstate in Northern Virginia for drivers that were distracted by various reasons. So it is a real problem, and it's one that affects us every day. And this is caused by people who fail to do their job when they're on the highway, and that's just simply drive the car while they're behind the wheel. This distracted driving has become an epidemic, and one too many people are too willing to accept as the norm, and too many people are willing to be a part of the problem rather than be the solution. And by the solution, I mean ignore the phone. And that's even hard for me to do, I'll admit, but I try to do it. Which is truly baffling to some of us here because it is such a simple solution. And if you fail to ignore the phone while you're driving, then guess who won't ignore you? Us and them. I can assure you that if a Virginia State Police trooper observes you texting while driving or determines that your texting caused a crash, then you will be cited. The consequences of missing that text or call, you miss a call or a text. The consequences of getting a ticket, you pay a fine that can go pretty high depending on what the judge decides. And the consequences of a crash that you caused because you weren't paying attention will be much more than your loss of that phone call or any business that might have come from it. You're going to have fines to pay, repair bills, higher insurance premiums, and possibly you yourself being severely injured or injuring or killing someone else. The Virginia State Police proudly support this traffic safety initiative and our many partners gathered here today. We ask that every driver take this pledge not to text while driving, because this is much more than just something you'll say you'll do. This is a pledge to do the right thing, a pledge to be responsible, a pledge to save lives on Virginia's highways. Thank you, and we wish everyone safe travels throughout the coming holiday season. I would like to introduce the Commander of the Fairfax County Police Department's Traffic Division, Captain Bob Blakely, who, if I can take a little credit, is a former trooper.
Thank you. That's right, I can't hide behind my gray uniform. On behalf of Colonel Edwin C. Rossler, Jr., the Chief of Police of the Fairfax County Police Department, I'd like to thank all of those involved for allowing us to participate in this very worthy campaign. I have the benefit of leading the Fairfax County Police Department's Traffic Division, which is the tip of the spear in our efforts to increase traffic safety. We do that through many ways, and I brought our two kind of lead folks on the way that we solve some of these problems or encounter distracted driving. We have some of our top enforcers from our Fairfax County Police Motor Squad here, along with detectives from our Crash Reconstruction Unit. The detectives in the Crash Reconstruction Unit see the tragedies caused by distracted driving every day when they work serious injury and fatal crashes. And our Motor Squad officers are out there aggressively enforcing the distracted driving laws for the sole interest to gain voluntary compliance and keep all of us safe as we navigate these congested roadways in Northern Virginia. I'd like to share with you just a few statistics to kind of put a little local stamp on some of what we're talking about today. The Fairfax County Police Department is the largest municipal law enforcement agency in Virginia, and we have many officers out on the streets every day working crashes and enforcing our traffic laws. In 2015, Fairfax County Police were dispatched to approximately 38,000 traffic crashes in the county, and of those, 28% of the reportable crashes were attributed to distracted driving of one form or another. In 2016, year to date, we're at 35,000 crashes approximately, and 29% of those have been attributed to distracted driving. This with all the support of our local and state legislators who have armed us with tools to aggressively enforce texting while driving and other distracted driving initiatives. So the problem is growing, as we all have recognized and have agreed with. And so we definitely need help from everybody to get it under control. Just to give you an idea of the hard work that our men and women of the Fairfax County Police Department have done over the last year. Year to date, we've issued more than 13,000 citations for failing to pay full time and attention, which includes texting while driving in Fairfax County. And of those citations, they cover a broad gamut of distractions, not just texting. But enforcement's not the answer to the problem. It's a combination, aggressive enforcement, but more importantly, a huge education and awareness campaign. This is what will truly make the difference. It's everyone taking the time to take the pledge and talk about texting while driving with your loved ones, sharing the stories about when you ran off the road and damaged your tires so that someone will learn from your mistakes. Observational learning is something that we all do as humans. So I would like to ask you all, on behalf of Fairfax County Police Department, to please take the pledge, please share the information, and thank Transurban, AAA, VDOT, quarterback Kirk Cousins for supporting and helping us get some important push behind this initiative. And thank you all for being here.
Our next speaker really doesn't need an introduction, but I'll give a quick one. During the season, NFL season, he has thrown the most passing yards through 11 games of any quarterback in Redskin history. Nicknamed Captain Kirk for his leadership on the field, he has positioned the Redskins to make their second consecutive trip to the playoffs for the first time in nearly 25 years. And we're all pushing for you. Just as impressive, though, is how he has put his faith and values into action both on the field and off the field. To quote a reviewer of Kirk's book, which is called Game Changer, Faith, Football, and Finding Your Way, the reviewer stated, "In a world with far too many bad examples, Kirk is a bright light of hope, inspiration, and leadership for a new generation." We are excited to have him here tonight to join our campaign effort. So without further ado, Kirk Cousins.
Thank you. Good evening. 5 games to go. Hopefully more if we can get the job done. It's a great pleasure to be here tonight. Obviously, our team is in the midst of a playoff run and of the current season. And I wanted to just take a pause tonight in light of that to address an important issue and to join this worthy cause that has already been so eloquently addressed. I've made a career out of playing offense, playing quarterback. But when I'm behind the wheel, I drive defensively. I don't text or look at my phone while driving because it's dangerous. No text or phone call is worth risking your life or the lives of others. As a quarterback, I need my left tackle to protect my blind side. When you look down to read a text, who's protecting your blind side? Experts say that texting for just 5 seconds behind the wheel is like driving blindfolded across an entire football field. If I get sacked in a game, I can get back up and move on to the next play, for the most part. But when you text and drive, you might not get back up. 1 out of every 5 fatal accidents is a result of distracted driving. Unfortunately, it tends to be young drivers with their best years ahead who are most likely to drive distracted. We have to do more to address this growing safety risk on our roadways. That's why I'm proud to be the voice of Phones Down, Touchdown of this campaign with the support of the transportation leaders who are here today. The Phones Down, Touchdown campaign will deliver important safety reminders to our region's motorists about the risks of driving distracted. As a professional football player, I know how significant just a couple of seconds can be. The average time it takes to run a play in football is only 5 to 6 seconds. Even in a brief amount of time, so much can happen. That's why we can't allow ourselves to take our eyes off the road when we are responsible for 5,000 pounds of steel moving down the highway or even just our neighborhood streets. It's too dangerous to us, our passengers, and the community members we share the roads with. So today I'm asking drivers in Virginia to help make our roads safer by pledging to focus on the road, not the phone, when in the car. And if you see a friend, a colleague, or a family member drive distracted, speak up. Tell them to put the phone down. Tell them to wait. If you're in the car, don't let a distracted driver make an excuse. No matter the call or the text, it's not worth it. Around the football building, when we challenge people around us to step up and play better, we call that positive peer pressure. So I'm challenging you to provide a little positive peer pressure to those around you to put the phone down and not drive distracted. In a game, I can't control what the other team does, but we can help everyone get home safely by taking one simple step that we have complete control over, to put the phone down. I encourage you to take the Phones Down, Touchdown pledge today. By taking just a few moments and offering your pledge, you will affirm your commitment to ending a major safety hazard in the state of Virginia. After taking your pledge, share it with your family and friends on social media to help us spread the word. I want to thank Transurban for sponsoring this worthy campaign and its partners, the Virginia Department of Transportation, the Virginia State Police, and AAA, who has helped repair my conversion van, for their leadership on tackling distracted driving. Together, these teams support tens of thousands of miles of roadway in our region and reach millions of motorists who travel here. This partnership demonstrates that this is an issue that affects all of us. Reducing distracted driving is a touchdown for all Virginians. I hope that my support of this effort will help reach more motorists and enable us to reduce the number of accidents caused by distracted driving. Thank you, everyone. Please travel home safely. And remember, phones down, touchdown. Thank you.
Thanks, Kirk, for those great remarks and for being a part of this effort. The Phones Down, Touchdown campaign over the next 2 months will reach more than 1 million young drivers and parents in the D.C. region. As part of this campaign, area drivers will be encouraged to sign a safe driving pledge and share that pledge featuring Kirk on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Each week in December and January, Transurban will randomly select a driver who has shared that pledge and offer them a month of free travel on the 495 and express lanes. So every week from December and January, you can win a free month of travel. On behalf of Transurban, we'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight and for our partners for joining us in this important cause. Kirk and our speakers will be here for the next 10 or 15 minutes to take some questions from the media and his involvement in this campaign. We'd also like to invite some of the elected officials with us tonight who promised to share the campaign pledge with constituents in their district to come up and for a quick photo before we depart to go upstairs to record the video ads. So thanks, everyone.